What do you make of a Tank?
Lamont Roach. I'm Lamont Roach. We've been cool since we was in the amateurs. So
Lamont, I always knew Lamont was, he wasn't coming to lay down. I've been knowing Lamont since we was kids, so we came up in the amateurs together. So I knew Lamont was serious. He was coming in there.
Obviously, just to secure the win is doing just enough to get a draw. So I have to push harder. I have to train harder. I have to be more mean. I have to be more physical.
Devin Haney visited Lamont Roach's training camp as Roach gets ready for his upcoming rematch with GervontaDavis. Haney mentioned that he's sparred with Roach before and knows him well. He said they're on good terms, and he fully supports Roach's training. Haney's visit highlights the mutual respect between them as Roach prepares for one of the most important fights of his career.
Unfinished business.
What do you make of the Tank versus Roach fight? Do you think it's a fight that Tank should have at this point of his career?
No comment.
What do you make of a Tank?
I'm Lamont Roach. We've been cool since we was in the amateurs. So I'm happy that he got the opportunity. And
Devin Haney watched the GervontaDavis versus Lamont Roach fight with full confidence in Roach's abilities, having trained and competed with him in the past. When Roach landed a strong shot in the 9th round that made Davis take a knee, Haney believed it was a clear knockdown. But referee Steve Willis didn't count it, letting Davis get up and finish the fight, which ended in a majority draw. Haney later shared his disappointment with Ring magazine, saying, "I thought he won the fight."
And finally, I wanted to get your thoughts on the Gervonta Tank Davis situation. What was your assessment on his fight against Lamont Roach, and what are your thoughts on the knockdown that wasn't called in round 9?
Yeah, I thought it was a good fight overall. Lamont, I always knew Lamont was, he wasn't coming to lay down. I've been knowing Lamont since we was kids, so we came up in the amateurs together. So I knew Lamont was serious. He was coming in there to fight, but he did a lot better than I thought he would, and I thought he won the fight personally. Yeah, the no knockdown, that was like unheard of. It was the first time I've ever seen it with my own 2 eyes, and yeah.
Yeah, you were, you've made some comments. I wanted to see the backflip, and I'm surprised Tank didn't say nothing back to you about that.
Hey, I was just speaking my opinion on it.
Behind the scenes of Devin Haney versus GervontaDavis, the two have had intense sparring sessions, which drew more attention after Floyd Mayweather Jr. released footage of their training. The video quickly spread through the boxing world and clearly shows Davis landing solid punches on Haney.
Did you ever see him spar any of them?
Yeah.
What happened? Who he sparred?
Y'all know what happened, man.
I don't know.
He sparred Devin. It's packed, it's hot. They get in there. Tank hit that nigga. He hit him, boom. Then he hit him again, and he went out. I jumped in the ring because at the time Devin is 17. He calmed down, and they got back to working, Tank got a little bit more fatigue, and once they kept going, Devin got the best of him.
Oh, okay.
But in a real fight time with 8-ounce gloves on, bye.
With his usual honesty, Devin Haney spoke to the boxing community, saying that everyone shares their own version of sparring stories. He acknowledged that fighters often shape these stories to suit their perspective. He might focus on his defensive skills, while Davis might highlight his punching power.
it was so long ago that it doesn't even matter now because, we're grown men and we could, settle it in the ring.
All right, yeah.
It's where it really counts because, it's so many stories, so many different point of views. But I told my story, and now I'd rather just get it in under the lights.
I love that.
Our first fight, me and Ryan's first fight, we was I want to say 10 years old. So we've been fighting since we was young kids.
So did you ever build a friendship, or was it just always a competitive?
The bond between Devin Haney and Lamont Roach goes beyond boxing. When Haney called out Ryan Garcia for using performance-enhancing drugs and took legal action, Roach didn't hesitate to back him up. He openly agreed, saying, "Ryan is a cheater." Their support for each other shows they stand together not just in the ring, but also on issues that matter. It's a strong message. Two top fighters united for fairness and integrity, showing respect and a shared commitment to keeping the sport clean.
Oh, I'm not too into the political side or whatever they got going on. I think Ryan's a cheater. I speak out against that. That's dirty. I don't care about nothing else that's dirty in our sport. Our lives are at stake. Whatever actions he's taking up against him outside the ring, I don't got nothing to deal with. Cause I don't got nothing to think about or talk about on his stance. That's his decision or whatever.
Recent footage from Lamont Roach's training camp shows a fighter fully locked in and performing at his best. In last week's video from Brooklyn, Roach moves with sharp footwork, clean defense, and quick jabs. Each sparring round is approached like it could define his career. There's no slacking, only focus, discipline, and determination. For Roach, every move in the ring is a chance to settle the score from the controversial draw, silence the critics, and prove he's a true contender in this rematch.
Yes, sir. Come on, quick. Drop those hips. Nice. Come on. Give me the explosion. Rip. Good. There it is. There it is. Come on. 10 seconds. Breathe. Come on. Come on. Time. Yes, sir.
In this camp, Roach has taken a more focused and thoughtful approach, aiming to make every punch count. Technical analysis shows he's not just increasing his volume, but training with purpose and controlled aggression. He's fine-tuning his punch placement, timing, and power. It's clear he took the feedback to heart, that while he did enough, he lacked a strong finishing touch. Now, Roach looks fully committed to proving himself, training with more intensity and precision to leave no doubts when the moment comes.
I have to come with it all. I have to do more. Obviously, just to secure the win is doing just enough to get a draw. So I have to push harder. I have to train harder. I have to be more mean. I have to be more physical. I have to do a lot. I have to do everything just a little more. And I think that will definitely put me over the hump. And I'm more than motivated to get back in there, get back in the camp, and work hard so I can secure a victory over a pound-for-pound fighter, in which I believe that I am myself.
Roach's background stems from a standout amateur career filled with national titles and tough competition. At only 16, he faced GervontaDavis, an experience that gave him an early taste of high-level boxing. That moment shaped his mindset and helped him grow with focus and respect for the sport. Since going pro, he's used that early experience to sharpen his skills, showing strong technique, smart decision-making, and mental toughness. Each fight proves that his amateur years didn't just teach him the basics. They gave him the confidence that he's meant to be among the best.
Roach is a hell of a contender, man. Roach had a very impressive amateur record, man, boasting 125 wins and 15 losses. 2 of those losses coming by Tank, man. Also, when him and Tank fought, Roach was 15 and Tank was 16 at the time. 3 years later, 2013, Roach actually won his National Golden Gloves Championship. And he was also USA Boxing Youth National Champ as well.
Yo, we're gonna be checking for any suspicious opponents on Lamont Roach record. He's 25-1 with 10 big wins coming by the way of knockout, my people. He's in the super featherweight division. He's ranked number 14 in the world and number 3 in the USA, my people. He has a WBA title right now in the super featherweight division. He's fighting GervontaDavis in December, but you know we gotta check how he even got there and how he started his career. His pro debut, he went against Victor. He was 1-3. That's fine. It's your pro debut. First fight as a professional. You feel me? I ain't gonna get at you. Next person was 1-6. Alright, I mean, we ain't do better, but it's your second fight. Like, fourth person was 0-1. That was a little sussy because he ended up 0-10. He never won a day in his life. So he never got his hand raised in a boxing match. You feel me? And then the next person, he stepped it up, though. He went to an undefeated. It's only 2 fights, but he was 2-0. Then 12-9, that's a journey, man. I'm not gonna lie. 4-2, 3-4, these are looking good. 8-5, that's a journeyman in the making. He got a winning record.
Teofimo Lopez has questioned GervontaDavis's reputation, especially the strength of his knockout victories. He believes Davis has mostly faced opponents who lacked real experience or weren't truly tested, suggesting that Davis's record might be overrated. According to Lopez, true greatness comes from going up against top-tier fighters, and he feels Davis hasn't yet faced someone who could truly push him. This criticism adds more heat to the ongoing debate about Davis's career and whether he's genuinely proven himself among boxing's elite.
So you think you dominate Tank?
I think I dominate any of them. If you really look at it, if you gotta really tap in on this, look at the resume, all that extra, whatever. There's a certain limit that you hit, right? But then there's that next criteria or that next top tier. And if you don't match that, you never gonna know how great you really are. And I've done that a few amount of times already. I jumped out that box and done that. So I have yet to see Gervonta come out of that box yet. You know what I'm saying? They're about to put him with a guy at 130 pounds. Whether he's a champion or not, you're getting a guy lighter than you to come up and weight to make you look good again. You know what I'm saying?
Eddie Hearn has consistently shown strong support for Lamont Roach Jr., even when some questioned whether he was a true contender. As the promoter in the lead-up to the Davis versus Roach fight, Hearn stood by Roach's talent and potential without hesitation. While public opinion may have been uncertain, Hearn's confidence gave Roach the backing and recognition he needed to step into the spotlight.
This year or in boxing, there's obviously been a hurdle. Will he get through the second fight, Gervonta?
Maybe not. I mean, I think he's had a result, to be honest with you, because one, he should have lost the fight. I mean, he should have had a point deducted. There's no doubt about that. But two, people criticised the Roach fight. I knew it would be a good fight because we know Roach is a good fighter, but people in boxing know that Roach is a good fighter. Now it's giving him another fight. Because if he would have beaten Roach, he's kind of backed in a corner to fight Shakur Stevenson, I think. But now he's got a rematch that's actually much bigger than the first fight. So, yeah, I think he'll be more switched on for this maybe, but Roach is a good fighter.
Even with a world title to his name, Lamont Roach remains under the radar for many fans. His low-key public presence has led some to assume he was an easy target for Davis. But those familiar with his journey know he brings strong technique and smart strategy to the ring. Roach has grown steadily over time, becoming a much tougher opponent than people think. Being underestimated might actually work in his favor. It gives him extra drive and lets him fight with less pressure while proving the doubters wrong.
Like I said, in boxing, at the end of the day, Lamont Roach is a world champion at the end of the day. Like I said, the whole thing about Lamont Roach is that he could fight, and you can't overlook anybody, especially not at the top level. Everybody knows how to fight. And Tank and Lamont Roach have been acquainted with each other since they were young fighters. And, just coming up in the game and knowing each other, the comfortability, that's still something that could threaten one another. But I feel like Tank gonna come out on top at the end of the day. But Lamont might give people, a tougher fight than he might.
Speaking on that though, like you fought guys early in your amateur career, right? And then you fight them now. Do you already know what to expect, or is there somewhat of an evolution?
No, it's definitely an evolution. It's definitely changed in people, but a lot of times, probably half the time, people's mentality stay the same, and their personalities don't always change. So you might be more comfortable with somebody, just growing up with them and knowing where they come from and knowing their background and stuff, versus just not knowing the fight at all.
Who wins that fight, Lane?
Tank. I got Tank.
How?
I don't know. I feel like Tank might break him down, work his way to a knockout, because Tank is great at break the fighters down, just punches his way into it, boxes his way into it. So
as the rematch gets closer, Lamont Roach looks calm, focused, and confident. His training videos and recent interviews show a fighter who truly believes in his abilities and his chances against Davis. He's not just showing up to compete, he's preparing to take charge of the moment. The way he talks and carries himself makes it clear he's not bothered by what happened before. He's ready to flip the script, and his confidence suggests this fight could play out very differently than the last one.
I feel like you got a certain confidence about this fight that I've interviewed a few different Tank opponents, and everybody gonna say like, yeah, everybody say this shit. That's what you're supposed to say, right? Like, I'm going into a fight. I don't think people thinking they're gonna lose, but it just feels like you have a different confidence than most other people. Where do you feel like that comes from?
That's just how I'm wired, bro. I ain't never backed down from nothing. I damn sure ain't never wanted to come second to anything. So why would it change here?
Lamont Roach's father and trainer has acknowledged the hard work his son has put in during camp, noting his focus and progress since the first fight. While continuing to support Lamont, he's also started to question GervontaDavis's mindset ahead of the rematch. His concern isn't based on rivalry, but on observing how Davis is dealing with the pressure and attention. This thoughtful perspective from the elder Roach adds another layer of depth to what's shaping up to be a highly anticipated fight.
Like I expected, but I knew my son was game. Training camp, he was so focused and locked in. I knew that we was gonna put on a great performance, and it was kind of like stolen away from him a little bit with the decision. But the world got to see how good he is, so that's the blessing to come out of this. So he really stamped himself in the boxing world more so with this performance. So like I say, that's why it's bittersweet.
Is it
we get it. We talked to the team. You know, he fresh off. He's fresh off this fight just like everyone else, you know what I'm saying? He might be talking off some whispers or things like that, but I don't know his plans. I don't know his management team and stuff like that. But I know the fans want the rematch, and he should get the fans what they want.
Do you think we could see a rematch take place back in Washington now?
That'd be great. Why not? They just broke the Barclay gate, so I think it'll sell out fast back home.
Claressa Shields has expressed concern about GervontaDavis's recent behavior, questioning how it might impact his performance in the ring. She emphasized that mental health is a major factor in a fighter's success, especially when emotions and outside distractions begin to pile up.
I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older now or what, but I feel like Gervonta is a hell of a fighter, but he needs to get his mental together. When I hear some of his interviews and I see some of the stuff that he's saying, I can just tell that he's not in love with the sport no more. I can tell that he didn't get his just due. I mean, it was crazy to hear that he said he got evicted out of a house or something like that. And I was just like, what in the world? And like that type of stuff, when you've been fighting and knocking people out and fighting main events. I mean, he fought main events here at T-Mobile against some of the best fighters. And it's just like, to see that he got evicted from his home and all this other stuff. Now he got kids and, you know, he's not signed with TMT. Mayweather.
Yeah.
Promotions,
No, he's on his own,
anymore. It's like when I hear him talk, he's like he want to be a nicer guy for his daughters, and he don't want to be
therapy.
I think he would be better, and even a better fighter if he went and did therapy like ASAP. Because I can just tell like he's a little sad, he's a little depressed, even before this fight. You know, so I think it'd be a better fight. I think that Lamont has the mental edge. I think anybody right now would have the mental edge over Tank, because to me, he just needs to take some serious time to deal with whatever he's having to deal with. Nobody knows what it is, but I mean, me being a fighter, I have done plenty of camps where I was depressed and where I was going through anxiety. So it's not an easy thing to get over, especially when you don't have the support from certain people that you used to have. You're not motivated and stuff like that. So it can be very, very tough. So I just hope that he get the help he need. And I think Lamont Roach did a great job that fight. I think if he'd been a little bit more aggressive, he could have really won like a unanimous decision. But he kept stepping off the gas. So, I mean, now that he can take Tank punch, I think Lamont will be even better in the rematch because he's going to take his punch, he's going to get him.
Reflecting on the first fight, Coach Bernie highlighted times when Lamont Roach could have stepped up and taken more control. While he felt Roach performed well, he also saw him miss chances. For the rematch, Bernie is focused on a more aggressive game plan, one that keeps Roach's strong defense but adds pressure and pace control. The goal isn't to change Roach's style, but to sharpen the tools that can win tight rounds and help him take command of the fight.
Chemistry, but he did good, Lamont Roach. But only thing, like I say, if he gonna go back and wish he threw his hands more. He might start getting mad at himself and realize that he when he watches the fight, it feels good to hear everybody say that. But when you go watch the fight and you realize, I let him slide too much. Like even the last round, he's standing there posing, looking at the man like and then he got caught with a jab. That wasn't good.
So
you know, you talked about the takeaways of how Lamont could be better in the rematch. And you're the second person that alluded to that. Tell me, what do you see in Lamont in the rematch that he could be more successful?
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned. More coming your way soon.